Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's check out why Finland is the world's most perfect country. If you want to go on this trip with me, this is a trip and not a journey. Let's check this one out. Let's know why Finland is one of the perfect countries. Yes, I reacted to a couple of videos that have to do with Finland and I'm so impressed with that particular country. But let's go find out about this, right? See you guys when we're done watching.
This is the closest we have to perfection, a cold and dark country where prisoners run free. Yes, it is the best we have, because these people are the happiest in the world. If you haven't guessed it, it's Finland. But the Finns aren't just happy, they are truly satisfied with their life and country. And they've created the closest thing to a utopia, which sounds strange considering what I just mentioned, but it turns out Finland outranks my country, Denmark. And we get praised all the time for having a perfectly functioning society. So how could Finland possibly be better? Well, it turns out they do a few key things differently and some other things way better than us and the rest of the world. But they also have one surprising secret to their insane levels of happiness and health that I didn't expect or really believed in until I dug deeper and tried it myself. I'll reveal that and why their prisoners aren't locked up as well later, but for now, take a look at this chart. It ranks how prepared cities are for the future of transportation. You can think of it like the Olympics of urban transportation. Things like public transit, walkability, cycling, electric vehicles, and even resilience to climate change is taken into account. And here, Helsinki, Finland's capital, got the gold medal. It's important for our discussion about their perfection because perfection isn't just about how good you are right now, it's about the future too. Helsinki is great and it will only get better, but if we zoom out and look at Finland as a whole, I can show you one of their core secrets to success: equality of opportunity. In Finland, it doesn't matter where your life starts, everyone gets a fair shot. See, an index from the World Economic Forum measuring social mobility, essentially how easy it is to climb the socioeconomic ladder, puts Finland at the very top globally alongside its Nordic peers. This means a child from a poor family in Finland has the best possible chance to achieve a comfortable middle-class life as an adult. In fact, World Economic Forum researchers found that if you're born into a low-income family, it only takes about 3 generations in Finland to reach the national median income. I know that sounds like a lot, but it takes 5 to 6 generations in countries like the UK or France and a staggering 9 in Brazil. So this is very impressive. In a perfect society, everyone gets a fair chance to do what they want. To achieve that, you need to be educated, because education is perhaps the greatest equalizer, and Finland's education system is legendary.
Yeah.
It's completely publicly funded, and students never pay a dime from preschool through university. But it's not just free, it's excellent. Finnish students score significantly above the OECD average in all PISA academic areas. What's more, Finland achieves high outcomes without the extreme competition seen elsewhere. There's minimal standardized testing and a big emphasis on cooperative learning. Crucially, educational inequality has decreased over the decades, meaning schools across the country, whether in wealthy suburbs or remote Lapland, provide consistently high quality education. This ensures that kids everywhere, rich or poor, get a strong start and equal opportunity. That's what we want in a perfect society. But the opportunity to do great things won't matter in a country run by corruption. And on corruption, or the lack thereof, Finland does pretty well. In the latest index, Finland was rated the second least corrupt country out of 180, only beaten by Denmark. I'm sorry, Finland, there's always next year. But this means Finland's public sector is extraordinarily clean. Bribes, embezzlement, and shady backroom deals are virtually non-existent. Businesses can operate without corruption and public funds go where they're supposed to. It's difficult to overstate how much this benefits ordinary people. Infrastructure gets properly built, public services function, and citizens trust that tax money isn't being stolen. The Finnish state is effective, transparent, and stable, which brings us to safety. Finland is a country of low crime and a strong rule of law. The crime rate is interesting though, because the Finns handle prisoners quite differently than the rest of the world. As I mentioned in the intro, their prisoners are allowed to be outside of the prison, that in the first place isn't even a prison, as they are called open prisons. See, instead of revenge and punishment being the main...
Are you serious? There are prisoners who are allowed to live outside, also stay outside, and there are some prisons that are not locked. Yo, that's, oh my god, that's like a level of trust is totally on another level. Like, how can you have confidence with people who are involved in a particular crime and you feel like, okay, there's no need for you to lock the prison, or you feel like they are allowed to be outside? That's like another level of trust. What do you guys think? And let me know how true this is.
Driver for imprisonment here, it's focused on rehabilitation and reintegration of these people into society. The way they do this is with a network of these open prisons. Unlike traditional closed facilities, these open prisons have minimal security measures, no high walls, barbed wire, or heavy surveillance.
Are you
Inmates
serious?
reside in dormitory-style accommodations and are often permitted to wear their own clothes, creating an environment that mirrors everyday society. A key aspect of open prisons is the autonomy granted to inmates. They can leave the premises for work or educational purposes, and some are even allowed to own vehicles and host overnight guests. This
That's like
approach
living a
fosters
free life
responsibility and eases the transition back into the community. Education and vocational training are therefore integral to the rehabilitation process. Prisons collaborate with local educational institutions to offer courses ranging from basic literacy to vocational qualifications. And notably, inmates have opportunities to engage in modern fields such as artificial intelligence, participating in projects that involve training AI systems, which is really cool. I mean, we have to remember, these people, for the most part, are gonna be back into society at some point. Sure, they should get their punishment, but we also need them to be a part of our community and society, and they need to be able to function when they get out. And they won't be if they're just chucked in a prison somewhere and forgotten for 10 years. So I think this is really good. And the results speak for this as well. But this begs the question, if you have prisoners running around semi-freely, what about personal safety?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there is a better way to explain it than to just show you. Look at this. It's a baby stroller standing unattended in the street in a big city with a baby in it in the middle of winter. And it's not the only one. Everywhere you go, you'll see this. Unattended baby strollers with babies in them. It's a common practice across the Nordics. We also do it here in Denmark. We do it because it's good for the baby and we trust it won't be taken. Finland is one of the safest countries on earth. No one is gonna steal a baby. But imagine doing this in LA or New York. People would go crazy, irresponsible, and probably
including
take
my
their
country
child into child protective care. But it's worth noting that other top-tier countries also excel in some aspects here. Denmark, for instance, is equally low corruption and high trust, as I mentioned with the baby strollers, and Japan is another society with very low crime. Norway and New Zealand match Finland's clean governance, but Finland manages to combine all these elements to the highest level. A trifecta of trust, safety, and effective governance. It's rare to find a country that has zero of the major societal ills: violent crime, rampant corruption, political turmoil, and instability. But Finland seems to have figured it out. That means energy that would be spent dealing with those problems can instead go into positive pursuits like education, innovation, healthcare, and community well-being. Finland's government is not only transparent but also competent and caring, which reinforces a cycle of trust. People abide by laws and pay taxes largely willingly because they see the results around them. And that's really important. Imagine paying taxes and you see them vanish into thin air. I'm looking at you, America. But back to Finland. A great example here is that the Finns enjoy a universal healthcare system that is both accessible and effective. This is despite the fact that Finland spends less on healthcare than the US, which is pretty crazy to think about. But the quirkiest thing I found in my search for the reason behind their happiness is what I alluded to in the intro: their obsession with the hot and cold. Let me explain. There are 5.5 million people in Finland and 3.2 million saunas. Yes, saunas. And that's just the official number. There are a lot more if you account for those that aren't reported. This is crazy. And interesting enough on its own, but between their sauna sessions, they jump into the ice-cold water in the middle of winter. This hot and cold therapy has been part of the Finnish culture for thousands of years, but why? What's the point? Well, recent research suggests this very well could be their secret to their high levels of mental and physical health. So, as a believer in the scientific method, I had to try it out myself to see what would happen to me. So I went into a sauna, heated to 90 degrees Celsius or 194 degrees Fahrenheit, and sat there for 15 minutes. I was pretty warm when I exited the sauna, so I was kind of excited to jump in the ocean, and it turned out it was 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit cold. And cold it was. Yeah, really cold. But what happened after? Well, I was very relaxed. The stress I had inside of me went away, and I was noticeably happier. These benefits are also what's seen in the research. Dr. Susanna Suba, a Danish metabolic scientist, has extensively researched the health benefits of alternating hot and cold exposure. Her study on this reveals that this thermal cycling can boost mental well-being, enhance metabolism, and improve cardiovascular health. And it's believed to activate brown fat, improve circulation, and release endorphins, contributing to Finland's high happiness and health rankings. It's definitely something I can recommend. It was pretty fun and I felt great afterwards. I can definitely see how the Finns keep doing this for centuries, even millennia, and feel good about it. But let's look at Finland from a big picture perspective. You can argue there are few places in the world and in world history where such a large portion of the population has the basics covered. Nobody's stressing about food, rent's not eating half their paycheck, healthcare is handled, kids are getting top tier education for free, and because work doesn't swallow up their lives, they've actually got time to recover, time to see friends, time to just be. That's why they're happier, because the basics are taken care of. And sauna mixed with some cold plunging makes everyday life more enjoyable, especially during the winter. But that's why the Finns are so happy. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
He spoke my heart, you know. Like, most of the basic things are being handled by the government. So why should there be high crime rate? Why should there be crazy things happening? No. This video was just super interesting to watch, trust me, because he literally spoke the right thing. He literally spoke the truth, because I've reacted to a couple of Finnish videos about why that country is one of the happiest country, blah blah and whatnot, and trust me, they all make sense. But I'm just curious, how can a country allow a prisoner to move freely? Like, that's some level of trust, like I said earlier. And they actually allow them to acquire more skills. They allow them to have their own personal cars. They wear their own personal clothes. Like, you can just imagine. In my country, you can't find that, not even a little glimpse of that. You can't find that, and it makes sense, right? Truly, Finland is one of the happiest country, one of the safest country, and you just cannot beat that. This video was totally beautiful, and I really enjoyed watching and reacting on it. What do you think? Let me know. How do they treat prisoners in your country? Let me know on the comment section, right? Thank you, and